Welcome, everybody. We are joined by head coach Gary Smith. Coach, a very important point out of Austin. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, as everybody probably imagined, tough game, very tough environment. This Austin group have made a big name for themselves this year and have played extremely well, especially here. So I think we all understood the challenge that was in front of us. But saying that, I thought the performance was a very positive one. There were opportunities, in fact, to win the game. And in the end, disappointing that we've conceded a goal from a dead ball situation and only taken a point from it. But I think it was important for us, with our first trip to this venue, to put a good display on, certainly to be competitive here against a team that we genuinely hope we might have to face in the post-season. If we are, we know we're doing a pretty decent job.
We're now going to open the floor for questions. We'll kick it off with Ben Sullivan.
Gary, without Walker, you guys managed to hold them in the run of play pretty well. This is one of the highest scoring teams in the league. How pleased were you with the defensive performance aside from the one dead ball situation?
Honestly, I think the group were terrific. We can point towards Jack coming in and filling some big shoes, but it really was a collective effort. Both fullbacks, big job to do. They play a very aggressive and progressive style, and that back line needed to work very cohesively and make sure that those relationships were very much at their best. But you've also got to have guys in front of them that are prepared to put a shift in both ways. And Jacob was terrific, as was Randall, in a creative sense, as well as offering some good support for our fullbacks. And the two central midfield players, I thought, worked tirelessly to screen that back line. And of course, I have to mention the front two. In the full-blooded nature of the game, they've got their work to do as well. And I thought they did a wonderful job of negating the six that sits deep and really dictates the game for Austin on many occasions. So there's a lot of hard work gone in, and I think the reward today, whilst it's only a point, is a very, very valuable one.
Well, now take it to an actual Ben Wright. Go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, when you guys went up a goal and then conceded, you guys kept pushing for the winner. I think in the past, maybe you guys may have been a little bit more content to kind of just get out of there with a point, but it felt like you were really pushing for 3 points. What went into that? What in the match kind of lent itself to think that there was a winner in it?
A lot of the time, Ben, it's based on the way that the team's playing, how productive we've been, and of course, do we look like we're going to lose the game? The group looked like they were ready to push on and try and win it. There were still some good opportunities. We had some decent possession, and we were able to dictate some periods in the game whilst also keeping them in a pretty tight spot. So, I was encouraged on the line. There was confidence in what the guys could produce. I wanted to try and leave it as long as I could to see if we could squeeze that winner out. And like I said, there were moments that I think a few of the guys would look back on and wish they could have again. A quicker step here and a slightly brighter thought there, might have been a difference. But not many chances either way. Very, very tight, competitive, and well-matched game this evening. And maybe in the end, we should both look at it and say it was probably fair.
Claudio Villalobos.
Thank you, Christina. Gary, you just stated that it was a very even match. Was there a time that it looked like from outside looking in that there was both teams have plenty of problems in transition sometimes because of the far in the middle? Was that what you expected, or this has been a different game when you compare it to the one we had in Nashville?
Well, they're a very expansive side. They're very creative. and positive with the way that they play. They leave themselves a tad vulnerable at times, but that's obviously the flip side to playing that way. They've had huge success, though, especially here. They've scored a lot of goals, as someone said earlier on. 3 goals in the week against one of the challenging groups as we are. So I think we can safely say that the attitude and the way that the guys went about their work was very, very professional. When I said that there weren't many chances, I meant there weren't many clear-cut chances. There were a lot of, half chance moments that, unfortunately, today for both sides didn't really come to anything. But I always expected the game might be slightly open and expansive, and I thought we gave as good as we got, if not better than that, to, as I've said, to try and win it.
Team Sullivan with a follow-up question.
Hey, Gary, what's going through your mind during the sequence in the second half where Dan clears one off the line and then ultimately Hani comes down on the other end and earns the penalty? What are your thoughts from first of all, looking like Austin's about to score, and then obviously you guys do at the end of the sequence?
It's amazing, right? I mean, each game can turn on its head in a moment, can't it? We've seen it, throughout time. It's an absolutely fabulous clearance from Daniel. And it's easy for me to say it's part of his job description there at the back post. But you still got to get it done. You've got to be focused. You've got to be on your toes. And he was all of those things. And then, of course, to really start the attack off from that moment, we go to the other end of the field where, Hani produces an exceptional bit of individualism again and creates, a defining moment for the group and certainly enough to earn us a point. So two wonderful moments for 2 individuals that have made a big difference to the group today.
Michael Sam with the final question of the evening.
Thanks. Hey, Coach. Obviously, a lot of the talk coming into the game was about the MVP race, and I know you've made your stance clear, but I'm wondering if today maybe altered that stance or strengthened it. What was your takeaway on that front?
I mean, I've got to say, I'm focusing on my team first and foremost. So therefore, I can tell you I thought Hani was terrific. Yet again, he's been instrumental in us earning points. Anything that was good through the middle of the field for sure was he was involved in. And he's held his nerve and shown exactly what he's capable of. I saw Driussi in the other group produce some nice moments. I still need to, I don't even know who's got their goal.
For them,
Yeah.
So
he's made a difference to them as well. So maybe his honour's even today. But I honestly thought that Hani was the more productive individual on the day for us in the way that the game unfolded. You wouldn't expect anything less, though, would you, from me?
Thank you, everybody, for taking
Thank you.
time. Thank you, Coach. We'll be joined next by Jack Maher. Welcome back, everybody. We are careful with.
Okay.
Zach, I'm going to ban you for doing
Yes.
that. Welcome back, everyone. We are now joined by defender Jack Maher. Jack, a tremendous point out of Austin. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good game. I think both sides, there's a reason why we're so high in the table and they're so high in the table. It was always going to be a competitive game. And for us to come and get a point, I think, and continue this unbeaten streak, I think there's a lot of positives that we can take for moving back to Nashville.
We'll open the floor for questions now. We're going to kick it off with Tim Sullivan.
Yeah, Jack, obviously you've come in and played a lot of really important minutes for this team already by this point, but how does it feel to come in knowing that, you know, you're stepping in for a guy with Walker's profile and then coming in and having the positive performance that you did?
Yeah, I just think that a lot of it comes down to confidence in myself and my teammates and coaching staff give me a lot of confidence, even though I'm young. They have a lot of belief in me, and I think that is something whenever we look at progressing young talent through the program. I think that confidence is big, and being able to have that trust and reliability for whatever age you are, I think is really important. And they've helped me a lot in that essence.
Yeah, Jack, I think there's something on the broadcast about you and Romney playing in that shape, in that back four. That hasn't been happening recently. It's kind of a rarity when you guys play together. You guys are usually in a back three. So I'm curious to know, in terms of going up against Gite and Jerussi and those guys tonight, how did it feel? What were you seeing? What were you noticing that was anything different that you had to adjust to?
Yeah, I mean, Dave's incredible. I think his maturity and leadership helped me a lot in the game. Just being able to play with someone that has had as many caps as he's had makes me feel more comfortable that, hey, I'm doing the right things. If I make a mistake, Dave's always going to be there for cover. And I think that whenever we look at just being able to continue, I think that Dave's incredible player, Walker's incredible player, whoever I'm playing with, I have the utmost confidence that at the end of the day, we're going to get the job done.
With the next question.
Hey, Jack, on that particular play, when you go down hard and you stay on the ground for a few minutes, do you feel that there were grounds for a different call from the referee on that one?
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't paying too much attention to the card situation. That was one of the hardest falls that I've had. And just being able to have the medical staff, Jake, and a lot of the other guys come over and take good care of me, I think that they don't get enough credit. And so for all the work that Jake does and the rest of our medical staff for getting me back up and allowing me to play at such a high level after that as well.
Tim Sullivan with a follow-up question.
Yeah, obviously, basically everybody who's talked to the media at all in the last 3 or 4 weeks has been asked about Hani. So obviously Hani provided your only goal on the evening. What sort of performances have you seen from him, not just tonight, but in recent weeks that have made him such a key player to your team and a potential MVP of the league?
Yeah, Hani Mukhtar, MVP for sure. I think that it's just a classic performance. I think, yes, he's been incredible in this last run that we've had, and is a big reason that we've been as successful as we have been in the last 6 games or so. But it's the course of this season, the previous season. I think that whenever it comes to guys that truly are, like Dak said a while ago, that are the most valuable player, Hani Mukhtar ticks all the boxes, and there's no doubt that, at least for me and the rest of Nashville, and hopefully for the rest of the MLS, that it's a no-brainer that Hani Mukhtar should be MVP.
Well, we will close with that favorable note. Thank you, Jack. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday when we play Latin America at Julie's Park. Thank you, everybody, for taking time to cover us tonight.
Appreciate it, everyone.